How to assemble all the parts of your robot. You will need all of the 3D printed parts of your robot, the sensors, a microcontroller, a voltage regulator, battery, and optionally some glue, screws, and/or pins. The plate-like parts slide into the sides of the cubes like so. You will need to assemble the two halves of the parametric parts. It might be necessary to glue them. To assemble two plate-like parts together, you will need a Type 1 connector. To assemble two cubes together, you will need a Type 2 connector. Be careful to position the active hinges in the right direction. For this, check the rendering of the simulated robot. Once all the parts are assembled, you can feed the servo wires through the cubes in the direction of the core component where the microcontroller will be put. Be careful to leave enough length for the active hinges to be able to move. If the servo wires are too short, extension cords should be used. If the core component has plates on all sides, you will need to remove one part of the robot to access the USB port of the microcontroller, so do not feed the wires on this side. The battery is inserted in the bottom part of the main cube. It is then connected to the power regulator, which in turn plugs into the raw and G and D pins on the side of the board opposite the USB port. Using the robot text file and the neural network file, you can determine which pins correspond to each component. You can read the numbers of the pins on the back of the microcontroller. Plug in the servo wires, being careful to put them in the right direction. The white wire is the signal and goes on the pin. The red wire is power and the black wire is GND. If you have servos on roll, pitch, or yaw pins, you will need to connect them to power and GND separately. Then, connect the sensors. Be careful to distinguish between the yellow wires from the light sensors and the SCL of the distance sensors. Finally, you can secure the parts by inserting screws or pins through the holes in the plates.